7 years, I think, since our last regular season game there, and thanks to Nate and Alabama, we started this series with that in mind, obviously in Birmingham, and a return back to United Center. This will be the first of 3 years back there, and very excited. We've obviously got a great basketball city in the city of Chicago. We've got a great number of alums and donors and supporters there, so it's very nice, and it just coincides that it's a top 15 matchup, and Bama is very good. Nate has done an incredible job there in terms of sustaining a high level of success for a while now, and so we're expecting a heck of a game. It's exciting to find out where we are. We're getting a little bit healthier. We've had guys in practice and sustaining throughout practice, which is nice. We'll see where Tommy's status is, as he is basically going through what Andre went through in a reaction to his performance the day before, what that looks like, and whether it's rest or the ability to go. Brandon's back. He's still not quite 100%, but is playing through some pain. And then Mihail's had a couple of good days here in practice, so we'll see what that looks like with his ability to play on Wednesday. So closer, nicer to get healthier. Then we'll see how all of that plays out. Z had a kind of an unfortunate bump with Cam during a timeout, which hit a little sore spot on his knee and flared it up and got it swollen. So he's trending in the right direction as well. So expecting a great game, expecting a great crowd, and looking forward to seeing a lot of orange and blue in the United Center.
What's the challenge checking the 2 guards, Holloway and Five-Line?
There's 3. Weitzel. There's 3. They're all good. They're all veterans. They're all old. They've played in that system. They're all guys who can. I fear them off the bounce more than I do from the 3, and they're all going to shoot threes. But they do a great job of living in the paint, creating opportunities for themselves. They're a team that's going to shoot a lot of threes, but they're also a team that shoots a lot of layups. And layups are pretty indefensible because it's pretty close to 100% shot. So, but they're good. We've got to do a great job of one-on-one defense and containing them and making them hard, and also understand that they're going to make shots. And both Phylon and Holloway had good games against us last year, and we got to do a better job on them this year.
With Tommy, at least, maybe being available tomorrow, is this about the timeline that you had thought when the injury happened, or?
We had no idea. We were originally told weeks. I guess it's kind of been that, but I don't worry about any of that stuff, and for me, it's really simple when he shows up on the court and he feels like he can go. I know he's a really tough kid, and cares about his teammates, cares about winning, loves playing, and so it's he was out there the other day, so it's a good thing.
With Mihailo, what's the process of working him back into games? Just given your guards seem pretty they played well early on. So how do you work him back into?
Yeah, and it's again, both those guys are logging a lot of minutes, and if I'm going to sit here and tell you I've got a plan, it's maybe more based on the feel of the game and how it goes. I would like to get those guys' minutes down a little bit. I do think that he's played well in practice, and that's the first step. What his conditioning and stamina look like, is to be determined. But we'll see how the game plays out.
What did it take, or what did you maybe want to see from the program to get back to Chicago?
No,
What
I
led
don't.
to that?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, we were selling out. We were here. We were building. You know, it's the opportunity to. You know, there wasn't much as much into it as you know. I thought we played 2 games there. I think New Mexico State, and then we moved. And one of the dumbest things I've ever done as a head coach was move a Big Ten game there, and played Ohio State there. But you know, we hadn't had a lot of success. We were still building. The draw wasn't very good in terms of attendance. Everything I hear, it's much better now. So, yeah, you want all those things, you know, and to take a game out of State Farm Center and our fans that are here, and you know, all that factors in. But it's also nice to be back at a point where we are back in the United States. We're back in our city, and such a great home to Illinois basketball for a long time.
Is Alabama, why's that been a good match for you and Nate, both like to schedule non-conference games? Why does that pairing work for you guys to do this?
We've both been good. I think it's great for college basketball. I just look at what Matt and Tom and I'm gonna leave out some, but you know, Michigan's doing it now, and you see what Danny does, and Self, and guys around the program, around the country, Mark Few, whatever, playing elite games. Those are great for college basketball. I mean, look at the slate tonight. Look at the slate tomorrow night. I mean, you've got national television, and we're part of that. And, you know, I like it. I like to find out who we are, where we're at. They're going to help you as you progress throughout the season. And you know, my hat's off to everybody who does that. But in our case with Nate, and then we've got, you know, Rick in Nashville, and obviously Danny next week, and you know, so it's fun to be in those games and a part of them, and a couple of ranked teams doing battle in November.
Is it fair to say having those teams win or lose on your resume is also a big deal come March?
That's why we do them. They don't hurt you. They sure don't hurt you. You know, you've got teams that are going to vie for national championships, and I don't know what all those teams are ranked, but you know, they're all ranked and they're all really good, and you know, I just think that's how you build a program and develop it. And it's been a big part of our philosophy here for you know, the last few years, and you know, thanks to our fans for supporting it. And, you know, it's like I said, there's a lot of factors involved, but the biggest thing is in March, we're going to see the best teams in the country.
You know, recruiting has changed over the years, but this used to be considered kind of a showcase game for Chicago area recruiting. As considered a home game, can you invite kids to come watch?
Yeah, it's always, recruiting's always the game, but you know, it's less impactful now maybe than, but you know, we want you know, there's always that aspect of it. This one, you know, being the home game in Missouri game is, you know, was always important, and you want to take care of the area region kids as best you can.
You know, effort is a lot, you know, when it comes to rebounding. What maybe beyond that makes Dobbin is good enough to pull down 21 in a game?
Just a nose for it. We play the math. You know, we chart all of our misses every year. You know, 75% of them go opposite, middle to opposite. We work on those drills every day. You know, most of the time with rebounding, it's not about the first effort. It's about the second or third, not accepting the block out, not giving in. You're not going to get them every time. That night he happened to get a lot. You know, when you build a reputation as a rebounder, teams better account for you, and that frees it up for everybody else. And you know, sometimes they're going to send 2 to block you out, and again, that opens it up for Dre and for Bam and Keaton, and you know, that's it's very nice to have a guy like that who holds other teams accountable on the glass.
Halo was doing like some full court spread stuff pregame, you know, before Friday's game. When you add that back in his speed, what does that do to your offense?
I hope it makes everybody else run really fast to keep up with him. Yeah, it's nice to have speed, and it's been one of the aggravating things for him through this process is he hasn't had that with the hamstring, and hasn't been able to use his burst and his open court speed. But that'll be a nice asset, and again, there's no doubt we like playing playing fast in transition, and he was a big part of our recruiting process was his speed in the open court and being able to do that.
A team like Alabama takes high volume threes. What's key to defend the three, but also get the rebounds?
Getting the rebounds is more important than defending the three, and again, they do it from 5 spots. So your natural instinct for bigs is to run back to the paint, and theirs don't. They're going to run wide, and they're very similar to what we do. And they're going to space the floor that way, which opens it up for those guards to find paint. And they're a guy like Holloway's had some big nights, but he's made more 2s than he has 3s, and that's because they've got five men who can spread the floor, and Bull Bowen's a guy who can spread the floor and really shoot it. So the biggest challenge is finding them, contesting them, understand they're going to make them, and then got to go right back at them.
Along those lines, are you pleased with the rate that you've been rebounding your own misses?
It's average at best. We've got to get Boswell doing better. We've got to get Stojakovic doing much better. We've got to get Tommy. I thought Ben was tremendous in our last game. His rate was through the roof. He kept some balls alive, as did Jake. But those guys have been in our program, and it's still early, and that's one of the challenges of not having Dre and Brandon and some of those guys, is we emphasize that so much in practice. They haven't been a part of it, so we've got to get Dre's Stojakovic's got to rebound at a high level with his body and his athleticism, and just creating the habits. And part of that right now is conditioning.
I wanted to ask you about Ben's rebounding. He seems like he's been really active in that. What did you see from him there, and what's that give you when he's doing
A commitment to it, not shying away from it. I say this all the time. There's a difference between playing hard and competing. And Ben's always played really hard. He's always been really, really assignment sound. And last year, you could count on him blocking his guy out. What you couldn't count on was him getting the rebound. And that's the competing side of it. You've got to do your job and play hard and be smart. But then you got to go compete. You got to come up with it, and not expect somebody else to do it just because you did your job. And he's taken that to a new level. And there's a great commitment to him doing that. So it's been really nice to see, because he's got great size, he's got great want-to, and he's very competitive, and he's got great stamina. So his go rate is very, very high.
Do you feel like this team is well suited to feel comfortable kind of at the extreme pace that Alabama has established?
Yeah, we do it every day. I look at it too. They got to keep up with us. You can't run. You can't run downhill both ways. You got to run on offense. We got to run back on defense, and they've got very good depth. I think ours is developing into that. They've got a guy or two out that I would expect back, but we don't shy away from anybody in our phase of transition. So we'll take our opportunities when they're there.
Heading into the season, you talked about forcing more turnovers. Haven't maybe yet. Is that still something you're looking at?
Every day. We try to get 30 deflections every game, and we're getting better in that. We're getting better with our hands. It's been a little bit different because of Z's shot blocking has provided a different way to start transition and fast breaks and create havoc. But it's that fine balance that, and I think one of the keys tomorrow is, again, not fouling. We've been very, very good at not fouling, and keeping teams off the line, and we're one of the best teams in the country at it. And so there's that fine line of being foolish and over aggressive and committing fouls to just being solid and then cleaning it up with a defensive rebound. And so, but we are trying to get more active and more handsy, so to speak.
Keaton Wagner, really confident freshman. Has this strong start to the season kind of kicked that up even a higher notch?
Yeah, I think if there was any doubt whether he was going to be successful in his mind, you know, like I said, I grew a lot with my confidence in him in the Florida scrimmage, and just simply because of the physicality, defending national champions, very good guards, and he was spectacular. And now he's gone out and he's done that, you know, against Tech in a game that was, you know, they're known for their defense, and you know, he just finds ways. And so I hope it's helped him grow, because it sure has for me. And you know, there's going to be challenges as the season goes on that he hasn't seen. That's, you know, what you would expect for a freshman. But boy, he's solved the riddle pretty quick. Whatever they've thrown at him.
Talk about head rammers, Terrence and Keaton fall into that category. Is it just a straight up will and want to? Is there something else that makes for a good head rammer if you to get those fouls?
Yeah, you have to want to, and we coach it. We want guys to want to get fouled. You know, the way the game is played today, there's tremendous advantages in that, with, you know, so many teams in opening the court up and not having a clogged paint. So, you know, Terrence is probably the best we've had, but guys are growing in that area. Keaton's done a great job. You know, Merck has done a great job from his role. You know, and then we've just seen Bam just blossom. And I think you know, Andre was absolutely fantastic in the Tech game doing it. So, you know, the other side of that is now making the confident reads off that and knowing that we've got guys spaced and where they're at. So, we're getting better at it.
I know. Right, a video since the Bulls are going to be out of town, but I mean, is it kind of crazy to think he's in his 5th season in the NBA?
And I watched him last night, and man, was he good. Game-winning free throws and I don't know, 20 points or so. But yeah, it's nuts. And you know, there was never any doubt that he was going to be a great pro because of how hard he worked. But his impact is you know, on the Bulls has been fun to watch him grow. I'm so happy for him. He gets to do it in a place that, you know, a state that he went to school, and he's got the hometown team, grew up a Bulls fan. But there's no doubt that young man loves the University of Illinois, and he's back here all the time, and appreciate him taking the time to put out a video, even though he's going to be in Portland playing. But you know, wish he could be at the game. But yeah, my hat's off to Io. He's not only a great player, but a very good human being.
All right, thanks, Coach.